So Chris Stuckmann finally got his movie made. And it wasn't worth a shit. Well, it's more than you've done. You're right, I have not made any shitty films. You are correct on that. You're right. I have not made any shitty films. So, I guess you gotta be beat on that. But yeah, this is a paid request from Marv B. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, topics, tier list, rankings, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And Shelby Oaks is the 2025 film directed by Chris Stuckmann, Chris Suck This, all that stuff. He is a YouTube reviewer, which I barely call him doing reviews. It's talking about the plot and then, oh, I like the film. Hey, people like it, that's fine. I don't see the appeal, but people like different things. He's also the guy that said I can't make fun of movies anymore if they're bad, starting with Madam Web, because we can't give bad reviews because people work hard on those movies. I'm like, yeah, all those movies you did those hilariocracy reviews and made fun of, those people worked hard on those films as well. But Madam Web will get a special privilege. What the fuck? No, Madam Web was a shitty film. Listen, there are good films, there are shitty films. It's all about perspective, because we all have subjective opinions, and you either like it or you don't. There's films I like, there's films I don't. It's the easiest thing to say. Okay? It's not overly complicated. Now, if you want to stop doing bad reviews because you want to get into the industry and you don't want to ruffle feathers, then at least be honest as to that's why you're doing it. Which is the truth. Because, again, why else would you not want to give bad reviews to a film that you think, you feel, you honestly believe is bad subjectively for X, Y, and Z reasons, other than I don't want to piss someone off who's in the industry. Oh, here's that guy who said that film sucked. And they think of you as just more of a positive person than, you know what else is positive? HIV positive. I don't want to be that either. I'll be honest. If that makes me sound like I'm cynical and negative, so fucking be it. Okay, I think a lot of films suck nowadays. Every single film, no. In fact, there's a film this year that I thought was a better horror film that dealt with kind of true crime elements, maybe even the teeniest found footage elements that I thought did better in accomplishing a goal that wanted to succeed compared to this. Strange Harvest. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I think filmmaking has gone downhill. I think there's a lot of people who make films who don't know how to make films. They shouldn't know how to make films, or at least write films. They don't know jack shit about that. And there's too many people that have a fucking phone or have connections, or they don't go year after year after year to film school and take all the time and energy and blood, sweat, and tears to actually learn how to make a film, which is what people back in the day did, whether it be your George Romero's, your John Carpenter's, your even Toby Hooper's and Stuart Gordon's. Instead, oh, I reviewed a bunch of films. Listen, I don't know how to make a film either. Just because I review a couple films doesn't mean I know how to make a film. And I know that. But there's a lot of people who don't know that, so they feel they just pick up a camera and get a good cinematographer and get some connections. I think here Mike Flanagan, which he's done quite a few films. Dr. Sleep, Hush, which I did like. Many other films. He was a producer on this. Some people argue whether he directed some of this and Chris Stuckmann directed some of it. I don't know, because there were additional photography reshoots done. They say to add stuff. Maybe they knew that it was a shitty film and they wanted to add more shit to try to make it a decent film, which they failed on that. Listen, if you like the film, that's fine. I don't care whether you like or dislike a film. Marv B sent in the paid request to have me give my honest opinion on it. Now, if I take Chris Stuckmann's name face, demeanor, behavior out of it. This was a generic, by-the-numbers horror film that you've seen done 100 times, and didn't do it better. It didn't do it more sophisticated, or more intriguing, more different, or more unique. You've seen this film done over and over and over and over and over again. It just took all these things that you recognize from other films that did it better. Here's a little bit of Demon Baby. Here's a little bit of Hellhounds, wannabe fucking Resident Evil wannabe dogs. Here's a little bit of found footage. Then here's a little bit of fake documentary. Then here's a little bit of look around, trying to do a mystery like you're Deep Red, which you're not. Ghost towns. Serial killers, or should I say, people abducting people, cults, rituals, and trying to combine them into this generic fucking film. That again, if I'm just talking about films that had a dabble, well, this dabbles in found footage and dabbles in fake documentary at the beginning, and then just goes to an actual film. But I've seen full films, fake documentary. Horror in the High Desert, the first one, which you remind me of at the beginning, because the setup here is there's a person who has disappeared, and then the mystery of what happened to this missing person, and family members are interviewed, including his sister. And Horror in the High Desert, a guy disappeared while he did YouTube videos, and there's interviews with his friends and his sister, and the mystery of how did he disappear. But hell, Horror in the High Desert, I will give praise to that film. I'll give some nods to that first film. I think they've dwindled down. The second film was there, and the third was a piece of shit. Awful, boring fucking film. But the first Horror in the High Desert I did like. I'll give credit to that. I'll give credit to As Above, So Below. I'll give credit to this film called Butterfly Kisses and that director. Strange Harvest, which I know one of my friends, Stuntman Mark, he saw that and he liked it as well. That film was more interesting, just had more intriguing ideas, and I think accomplished his goal better than this. Like Mungo. The reason I'm mentioning all these films is that I've seen films trying to delve a bit into this done much better than what Chris Stuckmann did. And especially because of the writing, I don't think is really that great. I really don't. But I'm 8 minutes in. The plot of the film, after that rambling, is there's this girl named Riley. She did this YouTube series with some friends called Paranormal Paranoids. Is a shitty fucking name. Paranoids? Like, that just remind you of Arkanoids or hemorrhoids. Might as well be the paranormal hemorrhoids, just make it feel that fucking way. That's a shitty name. Paranormal Paranoids. Oh, it's the PPs. Yeah, PP on you. One day they disappear. People think it's a hoax. Find out it's not a hoax. Eventually, her other friends are found dead at this cabin, but Riley has disappeared. It's years later. Mia, who's our lead, she's the sister. And then you see, okay, it's found footage. We see a little bit of footage. Riley, a door opens, goes through it. You hear like hounds howling, which will lead to later. And the cops can't find anything. They see like some figure, but they can't tell. Which even that didn't come off as creepy or unsettling compared to the shitload of found footage films I've seen. Then it goes into news footage and people not believing in it, and some YouTubers that make a cameo. What was the lady, Spooky Astronauts? She's on YouTube. She makes an appearance in those. Then there's a fake documentary being made where Mia is being interviewed, and she's talking about her sister and a little bit of stuff happening when they were kids and how she was the host of the show. They take a break during the documentary. Mia goes to the door, opens it. There's a guy at the door saying, "She finally let me go," and blows his brains out. After that, the rest of the film is just a movie where we, in slow motion, as if Zack fucking Snyder directed this scene, we see like the guy blow his brains out from the other side, and the girl goes to blood. Even when they put the body into the ambulance, it's fucking slow motion. I'm like, did Chris Stuckmann direct this scene or Zack fucking Snyder? It was a bit too overly melodramatic with all the goddamn slow-mo. And then what's funny is, she got blood on her face, right? So the cops talk to her. She still has blood on her face. You think there'd be a paramedic? Because there could be multiple paramedics. So some will take the dead body, but there would be one person looking at her to see if there's any, because a gun was fired nearby, was there any residual impact, gun burn, and also the blood. Let's take that off of you and make sure it doesn't get in your eye. And there'd be someone there, at least trying to wipe her off and comfort her and have a blanket on her and something. And then it cuts to nighttime, and she's still sitting on the couch with fucking blood on her face. Her simp bitch ass husband, who acts like a fucking wimpy McWimpleton, is like, go to bed. You're not going to say, hey, maybe we should wipe that blood off of you? Or get a washcloth or a paper fucking towel, some brawny, to wipe the fucking blood off the face? Or say, hey, got a little bit of something on there. Wipe the shit off. I mean, still, her, I can understand being in shock. The husband's like, I ain't dealing with this shit. I'm just going to bed. That's what it felt like. Let her clean her own fucking face. Like, goddamn. Like, you're telling me, like, all the cops and the paramedics all left with her still with the blood on the face. The husband he's a nothing character in this movie. Of course he is. His husbands nowadays usually are nothing fucking characters in horror films. You can think on why that's the case. Oh, and when the person shot themselves, there was a tape. So she took the tape. She watched it as a tape. And then literally the next 5 or so minutes, it goes from us seeing what's on the tape to her watching it and her reaction. Watching the tape, her, watching the tape, because the tape is showing the other people get murdered, and then you see the face of the guy who murdered them. Which looked like Tom Tolles, the Michael Rooker's buddy in Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. It's not him, because sadly that actor's passed away, but kind of looked like him. So then the husband's like, makes the husband watch the tape. And I said, okay. Then the next morning, I thought they had given them the tape. Just the cops are like, oh, they show a picture of the guy. But no, they didn't give the tape. And the husband's like, why are you withholding evidence? And she goes, they'll use that tape to end the story. They already gave up on her once. And I'm sitting there going, number one, you have the tape. You can make a fucking copy. So if something does happen, you can release the footage anyway. Number two, maybe some cops do this thing called detective work, and they probably could with that. So what would it hurt you? Make a copy, if you need to protect that footage, give them the tape, and have them investigate some shit. Because maybe there'd be 1 or 2 detectives worth the fuck that would work on the case. It's not like they established the cops are just, fat asses, just, fuck this bitch, Riley, fuck Riley, No, they don't establish that. So her not giving the tape to the detectives is just fucking stupid. People do stupid fucking things. Which I'm sorry. You could forgive that in older films. When it's 2025 and onward, no. How about you stop having characters do stupid fucking things? How about you come to Jesus and think of some more better, rational ways for people to fucking act and write better? And if you get to a fucking corner, figure it out and write how to get that character out of that corner in a smarter fucking way. This is how you improve in the whole horror realm and world to get better at your fucking craft and job. Write better. Write better fucking characters. The only thing you did about this character is that her sister's missing and she likes to have this. And for some reason, I don't know why, she kept making me she kept reminding me of like Paige Turco from Ninja Turtles 2 See Through the Ooze. I don't know why. Because really they don't look alike, but for some reason, like, once in a while I'll be like, I don't fucking know why. Maybe because I'm trying to think of better fucking movies. Yes, See Through the Ooze is Ted does better fucking movie than this. Maybe because I got Ninja Turtles in the brain since, you know, that Arrow Films release is coming out in December. Anyway. So no, she doesn't give the tape with the vital information that the detectives could use to find her sister. She keeps it for herself for no reason. She doesn't fucking do anything with it. Why does she keep the tape? What's the point of keeping the tape instead of giving it to the cops? She doesn't make a good fucking valid reason for keeping it. She's still going to investigate anyway. So just give the tapes to the cops. No, she wants to be Nancy fucking Drew. And somehow it leads her to, there was this prison riot. And then Keith David, I love Keith David. They Live. John Carpenter's The Thing. Hell, he's in this game I'm playing right now, Saints Row 4. Really enjoying the game. Granted, I never played Saints Row 1, 2, or 3, but I'm liking the game. Keith David's in that. This is a nothing role. I hope the paycheck was good. But he pretty much did this. He did the whole scene sitting down, ready to fall asleep. That's Keith David. Can't go wrong with Keith David, but anybody could play this fucking role. He just says some exposition about there was this guy in prison and something happened where all the cell doors went open, but he didn't leave. He just looked out the fucking window or, I don't know, did something else. So then she goes to that prison that's abandoned at night. Why she can't wait till the daytime? I don't know. She has to go at nighttime because she's fucking stupid. Because, you know, whenever you gotta investigate the prison, it's gotta be at nighttime because it's a horror film. We gotta make it scary. Well, it ain't fucking scary. Fucking Frankenberry cereal's scarier than this. Try to eat that shit nowadays, it'd be even more scary. It's old as fuck. But, no, let's not wait till the fucking daytime. Let's wait till the fucking nighttime to go to your abandoned prison. And then always, why do people always have to have shitty flashlights? How about you get some good flashes? Get some fucking Energizer batteries in those motherfuckers. Or carry more than one fucking flashlight. Carry two. I bet they're pretty, you know, they don't... Most people have multiple fucking flashlights in their house. And if not, they should. And it did carry some fucking worthwhile flashlights. Not ones that fucking flicker. And that's another thing with this movie. It follows all of the tropes. I'm sitting there going, okay, Chris Stuckmann, you've seen all these films, you've seen all these movies, and you've done all these reviews, and hey, he successful YouTuber. I can admit this. He will always be more successful than me. He will always have more subscribers than me. He'll always be more beloved than me. Hey, that's what it is. I can accept that. That's the truth. I still think his reviews suck. I still think his videos suck. You say my suck? Hell, you tell me to suck you off or suck your dick. I go, no, number one. Number two, I don't care. Well, I guess I do care. So bullshit. I did care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't have said it in the first place. So I do care. But at the same time, fuck it. Yeah, I can only say the blunt, honest, my own honest reflection on it is... I don't know where the fuck I'm even going with this tirade. Chris, you'll never see this, but you're that goddamn successful. You have the opportunity to make any fucking movie you want, and this is the movie you make. This is your dream project? To make like a wannabe A24, but then wannabe is like you wanted to have found footage fake documentary, but then the idea is abandoned to do this wannabe Hereditary, but not wannabe Midsommar, but not even Midsommar. Like you want to be that director? I forgot his fucking name who did Hereditary. You want to be that, but then you want to have all these other ideas that result in nothing. Because no one's going to remember this fucking film by the end of the year. In fact, that's why I'm rattling so much, because I'm not barely remembering the fucking film by the end of this review. She investigates the prison, looks at symbols in the prison cell. Then you have the typical jump scare where a dog comes by, and then I swear at times it looks CG. That's why I said it was like Resident Evil dog. It doesn't look like a zombie. It's supposed to look like a regular dog, but still. I think maybe there were some actual dogs, but sometimes the way it was filmed looked like CG. If it's not, then they shot it poorly. Now, are there other shots done well? Earlier in the film, it shows the ghost town of Shelby Oaks. There's some nice looking establishing shots. Now, you think, okay, they're going to go into the town and she's going to search the whole town. No. Just this prison that goes in the fucking woods, looks at more symbols, finds a cabin in there. I don't know how the fuck the cops or the search parties that were looking for Riley and all these people for who knows how long, how no one could find this fucking cabin, but they didn't. But here, hey, she's Nancy fucking Drew, that's how. And here's this old woman in this cabin. I did a common fucking tropes once again. And oh, the woman's related to the guy who was on the video who killed those people. And oh, cool, he's one of those guys that thankfully has all of his crimes in the scrapbook. So thankfully this guy and the woman was so nice enough to take pictures of every fucking bit of the crimes where he had her sister Riley and she got pregnant. I guess multiple times, because I think you see pictures where there's multiple graves and like these sticks. Wannabe fucking Blair Witch Project sticks on the ground. And her getting pregnant here, then burying, so that must mean she tried to get pregnant, and I guess these babies didn't make the cut, I guess. So eventually, Mia goes in the basement, in the tunnel. I'm like, oh, this ain't like Barbarian, right? But of course, there's tunnels in the basement, because every fucking tunnel has basements, and every fucking basement has tunnels now. They're both the same. The door swings both ways. So you go down and finds Riley. Tries to deer the fuck out. I forget why. They don't. I think she runs off and they go to the attic. The old woman does a ritual. Oh, there's this demon thing behind her where you see the eyes. I'm like, okay, so that's like Insidious, a bunch of other shit. We have this figure that honestly, the design, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. That seems a very generic design for the thing. It didn't seem scary or creepy. Just, I think the whole thing was generic. The old woman does this ritual over this baby. She dies of blood loss. Before this, she was able to pick up one and drop the woman while the other threw him away. The cops have arrived. It goes through the news. Mia and Riley are in this room with the baby. Riley says this baby's a fucking demon baby. Mia, you barely had it. There was like one or two lines very, very early on. The hell, you could miss this. Where, well, I guess you couldn't miss it. Because it does, 30 seconds. About how she wanted to have a baby, but she couldn't. So obviously she lists this baby as something special. Riley, the mom of that baby, Mia's sister, says there's something wrong with this baby, tries to kill it. They get into fucking tussle, and fucking accidentally throws her sister out the fucking window, which was funny. It was just the force. The force of her going out the window was like if Shawn Michaels did a fucking Sweet Chin music or fucking Super Kick. Like, it reminded me of like Halloween Ends at the beginning where Corey Cunningham, by the way, fuck Corey Cunningham, opened the door and the kid flew out. That's what it reminded me of. Like the force she went out the window, landed, a bunch of dogs come, kill her, the demon theme puts a hand on Mia's shoulder, and I guess she gets possessed. She screams. Probably because she knows she's not going to be working anymore with how shitty this film is. And then the movie's over. I'm like, this is it? This was the big fucking deal with Chris Stuckmann directing a goddamn movie? Writing a goddamn film? This was the big deal. This was a waste of fucking time. This was a waste of fucking money. And then the 10 minutes of credits, because you have all the people that were on Kickstarter. Hey, if you did this on Kickstarter, if you felt this was worth it, hey, what can I say? You got your money's worth. I watched this for free and I still feel ripped off. This was a waste of fucking time. Again, whether it be Strange Harvest that came out this year, Butterfly Kisses, As Above, So Below, Savage Land, Lake Mungo, Horror in the High Desert, those directors, they deserve a bit more acknowledgement to me. This got a little bit of buzz. Just, hey, Mike Flanagan. Well, you know what, Mike Flanagan? Why were you not helping out some of these other people? So, you know what? I'm going to give credit to these directors because I think they made better fucking films, and no one wants to give credit to these guys. So, let me. Savage Land, which I thought was a better movie than this, in my opinion, concerning the massacre on a U.S.-Mexico border town that leaves every citizen dead except for an amateur photographer, and you have this story being told, and then you use the still pictures to sell it. Phil Guidry, Simon Herbert, and David Whalen, give credit to them. Butterfly Kisses, I would give credit to Eric Christopher Myers, and A Strange Harvest. Why do I not remember the names? Because I'm bad with names. I'm shit with names. But Stuart Ortiz. With Stuart Ortiz, he was actually one of the guys behind Grave Encounters, the first one. Stuart Ortiz was the only film he directed by himself. So you know. But if they ever see this, they'd be like, no, don't use my name. I don't want you knocking another creator. Listen, Chris Stuckmann, I don't know him personally. It's hard for me to respect the guy that literally goes, I can't review this film because I don't want to be mean to the movie. Okay, that could be your choice, but then you're not a reviewer. Now, I'm not a good reviewer. I just review a lot of stuff. But I'm going to be honest, negative or positive about the film. You don't have to agree. But for Chris Stuckmann to make that choice, which I'm sorry, no matter what he wants to say, is because he does not want to ruffle feathers in the industry. And then lo and behold, this got on Kickstarter, and then a company, was it Neon and Mike Flanagan, they came in. I think he got like another $1 million. People on Kickstarter were not even getting their stuff first. Even though they helped pay for it. They had to fucking wait for all these other people to get it. When they're the ones... You would not have had this movie in the first place without them. So some of them got... I don't even know if they got all the shit they were supposed to get from their Kickstarter rewards and goals. That'd be interesting to find out. The people who went at Kickstarter and had all these rewards, if they actually got all those rewards or not. Hey, if you ever wanted them, let me know in the comments. But as a filmmaker, other than some decent establishing shots early on, which that could be more of the DP, that could be more of, again, how much did Mike Flanagan do and not do on this? But character-wise, I couldn't tell you much of a goddamn thing about these characters. Mia, hell, I got more out of Mia in Resident Evil fucking 7, the game. And I hated that character in that game. She knows how to look and scream. Riley, she was the host of the show, then she disappears for most of the film because she's been taken. The husband, I don't know if I call him a cuck, a simp of a character. He's just a nothing character, and he's fucking useless. And he's gone for a good chunk of the middle to third act of the film. Keith David wasted on a nothing role that probably took a day to film. Story-wise, there's nothing here that's original or unique. It tries to combine elements of found footage and fake documentary, and honestly, I think for some people it'd be like, I'd rather just watch one or the other. They want to watch just a film, or just watch a fake documentary, or watch found footage. And these other films I mentioned, they did that, I thought, much better and was consistent. Like Mungo, definitely had more of an emotional palette to the characters. Horror in the High Desert had a more interesting mystery of what happened to this person who disappeared. And you learn slowly more about where this guy went to and what happened to him, or get an idea. Butterfly Kisses was more of an interesting take on subject matters that it was actually a bit meta about found footage in general. I thought it had a bit more clever, interesting story. Strange Harvest, Strange Harvest I thought was creepier than this film. And its images and the reviews of these crime scenes among stuff. There's never one moment in this film that I thought was creepy, that I thought was scary, that I thought was, oh, I've never seen that done before, or wow, that was intriguing. Like, you know, someone said the best way to describe this film is he played it safe. And it's true. This is like the safest kind of horror film he could have made, because it reminds you of a dozen modern horror films. And I can't believe that this guy would want, for all these years, to have the opportunity to make a film, and like, this is the story you wanted to tell, this is the kind of film you wanted to make. A safe, generic, bland, run-of-the-mill, forgettable horror film that I can't think of one fucking scene that goes, wow, I've never seen that before, or wow, I'm going to think about that scene. Fuck no. Not a goddamn one. If you say there is, tell me what scene that is, because I didn't see in this movie. Maybe it's a different cut of the film. It's funny, when I taught, it sounded like a lot of stuff happened. Not a lot of stuff happened. Honestly, it was pretty fucking boring. With the credits, it's like an hour and a half. But then, like, 10 minutes of credits is the fucking Kickstarter shit and stuff. And then the 2-3 minutes before this, credits were like, here's a title, then here's a title, then here's a title, before they start rolling the rest of the credits. So it's really like, without the credits, like an hour and 18, hour and 19 minutes, give or take. I can't want to say an hour and 17, but technically a little bit longer than that. Hour and 18, hour and 19. So you have characters doing stupid stuff. You have typical tropes you've seen done dozens of times. Characters being fucking idiots. Husbands being simp, worthless pussies. Your lead character having no personality. She had nothing to work with. I don't even want to blame the actress if she ever sees this. I don't think it's your fault. You had nothing to work with. You had jack shit to work with on the page. Nothing to work with. Just stare at prison cells. Stare through the woods. Stare at this. Have a shitty flashlight. And then some dogs. A crazy lady who was possessed doing a ritual. Just typical fucking generic horseshit. I could call this the most bland movie of the year. Which is funny because I talked about it. You know, I'm going to put that. It's the most bland movie of the year. If you love the film, that's fine, but I dare, by a year from now, 1 year from now, without rewatching the film, you tell me what the fuck happened in the movie. I dare you. 1 year from today. I'm recording this, it won't be uploaded, but I'm recording this on November 21st, 2025. By November 21st, 2026, you come back here without rewatching the film, and you tell me what the fuck happened in the movie. I fucking dare you. You're not going to remember it. There's nothing there to remember. So Chris Stuckmann, hey, you got your film made. Maybe you'll do TV work, whatever. Good luck being a filmmaker. This is great. You're just another one of these guys that made another shitty film. And the whole huge realm of current shitty films. Good luck on your future endeavors. We'll see you guys later. Fuck this movie.